So, let's see, today is
13, I think. 14.
And it's 4:15. Gotcha. Is it Kimberly?
Nope.
Just Kim.
Born and raised Kim.
Perfect. Today's your birthday. That was kind of... Okay. So, tell me what you... So you said you're a massage therapist, right?
I'm a massage therapist.
Which building do you work in?
We're in 5130 Suite 200, so it's the upper level adjacent to the north parking lot.
Okay.
And my specific treatment room is on the southwest side, which would be at the top of the ramp, one of the ramps that comes from the parking lot.
Right.
And when I heard pop, pop, and my client said, "Was that gunshots?" I go, "It sounded like it." And we heard screaming from the kids. And I pushed back the curtain and I could see kids running up and into the door of the children's dentistry, which is the adjacent building.
Right.
And I said, "Stay here." And I ran to our break room, which is the window that looks right into that north parking lot.
Right.
And I saw the shooter. He was on the sidewalk directly in front of the window at our sink. And I forgot we had two-way windows. So I was afraid of being seen.
Sure.
I forgot.
Yeah.
And he was a tall, thin, white boy with short sleeves on. He had regular short cut hair that was just like a traditional, not long.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Not in a pony, not weird out. No streaks, no weirdness.
What color was his hair?
It was like a strawberry blonde.
Okay.
And he had his arms straight out.
Which direction?
He was facing west.
Okay.
And he was walking slowly, and at the same time, I could hear much more screaming and somebody yelling either no or stop. Like they were kind of familiar with who he was, just his tone.
Yeah.
And at the same time, over here in the parking lot, in the east entrance, there was a car with nobody in it, a small dark-colored car. And I felt as if it might have been his. I don't know why.
Okay.
And it was right smack in the driveway. And
like he's blocking it off, the driveway?
Like he was going to exit and got out of the car to shoot, is what it looked like.
Sure.
And I hear pop, 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 and more screaming. And I went to the door and I had a hold of the deadbolt. I was going to open and yell at him like, "Down," or something. But I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
You have to, self-preservation.
I hesitated. I didn't do it. And then he walked out of my view. And the gun was black. The gun looked kind of like it was a shorter barrel. It was nothing long. And it almost looked bulky, kind of like a revolver would, but I couldn't quite tell where the chamber and stuff. I couldn't quite tell, but it wasn't very big, maybe a Glockish or one of those. I don't know a lot about guns. I've been to a gun range.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know those names. Yeah, but it wasn't like big or anything.
Sure.
And I heard more screaming and yelling, and I didn't see nothing else in the parking lot. I ran, opened my door, and told the client to get on the floor under the table. Poor thing was all naked, and I ran to our lobby room, and I yelled at the dentist across the street, "There's a shooter, lock your doors." And then I was locking our doors, and Joshua's client, which is the dude that you have here, said, "I want out." So he went out and crouched out the east door to go see what was going on. And then I ran back to the kitchen window again, and I couldn't see him, and I opened the door, and I peeked. Oh, I saw the little boy all over like that. He just looks dead in a hole right in the middle of his back. It was just... I wanted to go get him, but I was afraid. And you're not supposed to move people. I was just so conflicted in what to do. I just didn't know what to do.
So sorry to see that. It's horrible. How old do you think he was?
The shooter did.
Oh, the little boy.
8 or 9, maybe. Just a little boy. Just a little skinny little boy. His legs were big. He had a hoodie on and he was completely unturned. His arms were like this. And he was sitting. Oh, geez, why did... And it took forever to get through 911.
Yeah, a lot of people are calling.
Oh, yeah.
How far were you away? Was he away from the window you were looking at? Do you think? You're looking out of
12 feet.
Did you see his face?
You know, it was a side profile.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Well, that's fine.
I don't want to help.
Yeah. You're helping. So, and we
I feel like I have enough. I don't have enough information.
Yeah. Did you actually see him shoot these people?
I saw him shooting, but I did not see who he was shooting at or the victims. They were out of my sight.
Okay.
So I didn't see who was being hit, but that little boy was there.
Yeah. Was it like
But he was shooting high. He wasn't shooting low. So I think he'd already shot that little boy. And I think he was shooting beyond.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How far did you actually see you saw the little boy that was down?
Yeah.
How far away was that from your window?
Again, 12. I mean, he was just this. If this is my window, the boy was. I'm looking straight at you through this window, and just push yourself like 10 feet back.
Right.
The little boy was like right here. I just couldn't see him because I was looking straight out.
Yeah.
And if I go way to the side, I might have been able to see him. But he was like 3-4 feet west of the stairs that come out our back door. Where do you have me?
So here's children's dentistry right here.
Yes. Okay. Then it's right here.
Where's your place?
Right here on the end.
Can you just mark that? That's
yes.
Where you were.
Okay.
So there.
my room.
Of course, you want there you go.
My room was there, and the kitchen window is right here.
Okay. And so the guy was where? When you saw him? Just right here, right in front?
Right here. Right
in the parking lot?
On the sidewalk.
Okay.
And his car was like here.
So you want to turn it doesn't work.
Well, it's just because of the print right here. Yes.
His car's here, and he's walking this way?
Westward.
Walking westward.
Yep.
And which way is he shooting?
Westward.
Okay. So he's shooting this way.
In that direction. And see all the kids that I saw, because when I looked out my window first, these kids were running into the children's dentistry door, which is right here.
Did you hear him say anything?
No.
The first thing you heard was the pops?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There was just a couple of pops the first time, and then all the screaming, and then there was like a slight delay.
How many shots do you think you heard?
I would say 2 or 3 the first time with all the screaming, and then when I was looking out the window and he started shooting, I would say there was probably another 5.
Were they rapid succession or?
Not super. No, it was more like the first 3 were like pop, pop, pop-ish. You know, that delay.
Yeah.
And then the other 5-ish were a little faster, but it wasn't like one of those guns that goes, bah, 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 bah. Nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Okay. And then, so you, okay.
Yes.
So you think you probably wouldn't recognize them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was so what to do next that I should have stood still and really looked.
Well, that's pretty natural.
I should have really, really, really looked so I could help more.
Yeah. I mean, you did everything you can do, right? I mean, you can't go out there and stop that. You know, I mean, God forbid we have more victims, you know, so you really did a good job. Okay?
I don't feel like it.
I know. But there's no happy with these things. You know what I'm saying? There's no feel good out of this. It's a tragedy all the way around, you know. And you need to make sure you're safe first, right? So it doesn't do any good to go out run there and be another victim. So do you know what kind of car this was?
I don't know the make. I know that it was a smaller, dark, like either a blue or a black, but dark shade.
You tell if it's newer or older?
It looked like it could have been maybe like an older-ish, like maybe, I don't know, maybe 4-ish, nothing. It didn't look like new or anything.
Yeah, so like a mid-2000s?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
2010?
young to mid-ish, I would think.
Okay.
And
Is this down there, right? You did all 2-door or 4-door? Do you remember?
That's what I've been trying to rack my brain.
Yeah. So as the night goes on, you're gonna start remembering things, right?
Really?
Yeah, this is totally typical. So you're gonna have probably some visions of stuff that you saw because this is chaos, right?
I think the driver's door was ajar.
Okay. Did you see his plates at all?
No.
Okay. No, like distinguishing marks or anything on there that you saw?
I'm trying to remember, if there was bumpers or anything in the windows.
Okay. And so you said he's a skinny white male.
Yes.
With kind of normal short cut hair.
Yes.
How tall do you think?
I think he was
estimate?
probably, if I had to guess, 5'8", 9", maybe.
Okay.
6, maybe 6 inches are a lot when you're a person.
Could you guesstimate his weight? This is thin.
He was thin, maybe $130, $140.
Okay. And he was wearing what?
I just remember short sleeves,
Okay.
because I remember being able to see his whole arm extended. But I'm not even sure what color his clothes were.
So normal.
Yes, I remember the kid that I saw when I looked out the window that was running up into the children's dentistry had long nylon shorts with a stripe on it. I remember his shorts.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other dude.
Well, as time goes along, this stuff's gonna start coming back.
Okay.
So I'll give you my card before you go, and you can just call me back.
Okay.
Whatever, do a follow up or talk on the phone or whatever.
Okay.
So he says
He was young, like, no, I just want to say he looked like, I'm not good with ages either, but he was like, I want to say like 17. I mean, he just looked so young.
Do you remember any tattoos or anything?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else we need. Oh, you said he's blondish, right? Or strawberry blonde?
Yeah.
So you know how...
It wasn't totally straight hair either, like maybe a wave to it.
Okay.
You know, not curly, but not straight.
You know how some redheads have that like really white skin, like white and orange kind of skin, like that? Or is it just kind of normal color?
Not quite that redheadish, more strawberry blondish.
Okay. A little bit of skin
and
color.
I feel like he may have been freckled, but
Okay.
he wasn't like super white, like some people are.
Right.
I feel like yeah. I feel like he was freckled for some reason, but I don't know. But he wasn't like that pasty white.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was asking.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of that?
So cold.
Really? He was just slowly walking and shooting at him?
Yes.
Interesting.
He didn't appear afraid or he wasn't like looking around like somebody's gonna catch me or anything.
What do you do when he's done shooting?
I don't know, because that's when I ran to tell everybody else to stay down.
Okay, good. You did a great job. Seriously. I really appreciate you coming in and telling us stuff. It's very helpful. You know, so
It's very helpful.
It doesn't, I mean, we would all like to just have him in our custody, but this is the kind of stuff everybody gives a little piece of the pie. We put all those pieces
when
together.
I went back, that car was gone, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, it was gone.
Did you see where it went?
No, it was just gone.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was somebody trying to get away or if it was actually his car, but I just felt like it was his.
So was he still shooting when you went to get other people?
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't see if he stuck around there for a little bit or we ran off or anything like that? Okay. I think that's it, unless you can think of something else. Okay. Can you do a favor? Just put your name on there. Okay, great.
Well, I haven't even right.
You're doing great. Hey, and
this parking lot is cursed.
why?
We had some girl last year or the year before come barreling down the street, cut through this grass, crashed into some cars, and then kept going. I think she died at the railroad track, her vehicle.
So this is me. My first name is Matt. It's not M, so you can call me Matt. Yeah. I appreciate you coming and talking to us. Let me, give me just 1 second, and I'm going to talk to somebody real quick, and I'll be right back, and I'll get you down to Daisy, and she'll get you. Did you drive up here? Or?
I have to go back. No, the dude brought me, and I'm in the back parking lot. He said these cars will probably be released, but these ones would not.
Okay. We'll get you a lift back there, so you can get your car, and then just be a little patient with us if you don't mind, because we're trying to...
Those kids, they saw that. They ran for their lives. They saw him.
Scary. For sure. There's just no explanation for it.
None. Well, there's no excuse.
For sure.
I don't care what the explanation. There's no excuse.
Agreed. Okay.
Charlotte, I met you down at the scene where this incident occurred, and you were identified as somebody that might have some information about what happened down there. So what I'm going to do first is just ask you to tell me what you were doing down there, okay, and then we'll move on then to what you might have seen.
Okay. So in that building is a massage therapist that I see, and I had a 3:15 appointment. And I arrived early, about 3 o'clock, and so I was sitting in my car with the car on, talking to my mom on the cell phone, and just waiting for my appointment time. And I guess that's it. Yeah. And then all this started happening.
Okay. So you think the time that you were in the car and this might have all started to happen was about what time?
I would say, I'm going to say like 7 minutes after 3 or 5 minutes or somewhere around there.
Okay. And so you're sitting there, and then I know we talked about this down there, but you were in a black BMW, right?
Right.
And it was parked facing north in the parking lot, just north of the massage building.
Right.
Okay.
On facing 80th.
So when you're in your vehicle, and what did something draw your attention then to something else happening?
Yeah, it was a young kid that pulled up in this black car, and it was, I kind of described it to you, but it's like it had a really bad paint job on it, and it didn't seem like it had chrome or anything. It was just like a solid black car, kind of, I don't know, I would want to say in the 70s-ish.
That's pretty old. Are you talking pretty old?
Well, maybe not that old. I'm not really good with cars. It just looked like an old beater.
Did it?
Yes, but
So you would describe it as an old beater?
yeah.
All right.
Probably not that old. I'm probably dating myself here.
That's all right. We don't have to.
But anyway, yeah, okay.
It's an old beater.
Yeah.
Anything other unique about it, like stickers on the windshields, windows?
No, just the bad paint
Just
job.
the bad paint job?
Like it'd never been waxed or anything, just, real
Dull and
dull is the right word.
there wasn't any spray paint on it to kind of cover what was happening.
It could have been, yeah. Could have been just, it's like the front seemed like maybe there was rust on it or something, and it might have been covered, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know.
So your impression was it went like an old beater car, and what did this vehicle do?
It was a young kid driving it, and it pulled up kind of, so the, cars are parked this way and cars are parked this way, and he pulled into this area, and he was just kind of sitting behind me a little bit forward, so I couldn't directly see him, but he was just sitting there, and so...
Like he pulled in behind you in his vehicle and parked at the rear of your car?
Right. And just sitting there, and it's like... I think that there obviously were, I know now there were other people in the car, because I think that this woman and kids got out of the car. And he's sitting there, and I'm thinking, does he want my spot, or what am I supposed to do here? But he just sat there. And then finally I saw a woman and a young kid get out of the car. I don't know if there were...
I'm going to stop you for just a second. So I've kind of drawn a sketch. This is 80th Avenue, eastbound, this direction. This is north. This is the building where you're going in for your massage. This is your vehicle parked in the parking lot. Can you draw in the suspect's car as to where it was?
Yeah, I believe it was just like right here.
Okay, go in which direction?
Going this direction.
Okay, so I'm going to put on your car like that, kind of designating that that's the way it was traveling.
Okay.
So did you see it pull into the parking lot, or did you first notice it when it pulled up behind you?
I might have just seen it out of the corner of my eye when he pulled in this way, but that's not really, I don't really remember that well.
Okay. So he stopped right behind you.
Right behind me.
And you're kind of looking out here through your mirror?
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy's sitting there, but then kind of just thinking, well, maybe nothing. I just didn't know what to say.
Right.
So then, the woman and this kid got out of the car and started walking toward to the right of that building, which I guess I found out is a dentist's office. So she started, there's a sidewalk right here.
Did you see where she got out of the vehicle at? Which position in the car?
I didn't. I'm trying to think if it seems like she got out this way.
I'm sorry, which way?
From this side.
So you think she might have got on the left side of the vehicle, so maybe she might have been sitting behind him?
Maybe, yeah.
Was he driving, this young kid?
I think that he was.
So a woman gets out of the vehicle, it might have been the left side of the car, and she's in...
And then the little kid maybe got out that
So there was another kid that got out.
Mm-hmm.
When you're describing this kid, how old do you think this kid was?
6, maybe. 6 or 5 or something like that.
Okay, male or female?
I think male.
Okay, so what did they do?
So they started walking towards this, but as she got out of the car, she went like this, like she was like they've been arguing and she just threw her arm up like, enough of you, kind of, like, I'm out of here. And he revved the engine and just took off.
Where did he take off?
Well, this is where the street,
Right.
what is that?
It's like Wolf or Xavier or something.
Xavier, yeah. So he went this way, but then I didn't see him. I didn't see, where he went or if he parked, but obviously he got out of the car, in my mind, because he came back then this way.
So he left eastbound, the car disappeared, then you see a male party, the same male party that was driving this car.
Mm-hmm.
He then starts coming back this way.
Mm-hmm.
And explain to me then, I'm going to try and ask you to do a diagram here we're going to kind of move it along here, but let's start with a circle showing the position of the suspect that you next saw him at.
Okay. So I guess I'm assuming he came this way.
Okay.
But when I saw him, there was a car parked, a big truck here that you asked me about. There's a sign over here. There's a guy parked here.
This is the silver truck that
Yes.
got shot at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where it was to begin with?
Right. And so I believe this young 15-year-old kid is walking along here.
This is who you're describing as
It's the driver.
That's the driver, is a
Mhm.
15-year-old kid?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
He had like shorts and a t-shirt on. Looked like a kid, 15.
okay.
He's coming along here, and he comes over. I don't know, because I thought that those people had already gone in, but
So
then
people needing
the woman and the boy. But then all of a sudden, here is this woman standing here, and here is this kid, and I hear these pops that sound like firecrackers, and I'm going, that's not a firecracker. And I looked, I was looking kind of in between my back seat and the window, and I could see that body lying on the ground.
Did you see the woman before she got shot?
No. I mean, I saw her basically as she was going out of the car and up. I thought she was going up towards this office up here.
So you can't tell me that that's the same woman that got out of the car?
I think it was because of the clothing, and then I saw the body lying there, and it had the same outfit on, like I want to say a teal blue shirt or something.
So your impression is that this person that gets out of this car and starts walking up here is the same person that you later saw on the street after the shooting?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe.
Okay.
And so he started shot her, I think, a couple of times, and then just started popping off this gun, like shooting. And I don't remember if this guy seemed like, he looked like he started to get out and look at the body, but then I think he realized, I'm assuming this stuff, I think he realized that, this was a serious situation, and the guy with the gun was still there. And so he backed out trying to get out, and the guy with the gun went after him. And I don't know if he got shot or not. I didn't see that because I was hiding as low as I could get in my car. And then, so after he shot her, he came back.
So after he shot her and this car then tries to leave, you actually ended up running into the back of it. The back of it ran into this sign.
Right.
Did you hear this guy shooting at the truck?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember how many shots you might have heard at the woman?
I want to say 2.
Okay.
But there were other shots. It seemed like he shot her twice, but then there were all these other shots. I didn't know if he was just shooting the gun off. It seemed like she fell down. I'm looking back there and I'm talking to my mom and I said, there is a dead body. I'm looking at a dead body. And then, when he comes back here and he starts shooting some other people, and it seemed like there were 2 bodies, but one was the kid, the little kid, the 6-year-old, because I saw him get carried off to the ambulance. But then it seemed like there was another body that they were trying to resuscitate, and I didn't see who that was. I don't know who that was.
So you're thinking you might have seen at least 3 people that had been shot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Then what happened?
Then these guys, which I don't know where they came from, but just civilians came and were like trying to help out.
And before that, what happened to the guy that was doing the shooting?
I didn't see him. I didn't see him leave. I didn't see him. It seems like, if I can say that, it seems like he, after he killed these people or wounded them, it seems like he went back towards his car. But I don't know that. I'm just
Did you ever see
guessing.
him get back in the vehicle?
No.
Okay, so you don't know what direction he traveled afterwards.
Mm-mm.
Did you see the gun in his hand at any time?
Yeah, I think I did. It was like a silver, it's like a, what kids used to play with when we were growing up, one of those, like a silver, call it like a, not a pistol, a short pistol thing, but one of those silver, how do you describe it?
Did it look like a handgun or a longer gun?
A handgun.
Okay, there's two kinds of handguns, basically. There's what's called a revolver, and that's got the cylinder that
Yeah.
goes around and around. Looks like an old cowboy gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to describe.
Okay. The other kind is like a semi-automatic, which is kind of like squared off and it has
Yeah.
a magazine that goes up in it and it ejects bullets,
Right.
shell casings.
No, I think it was like the cowboy gun. That's what I was trying. I just didn't know how to describe it. That's what I think I saw.
You're not. Would you be certain about that, or is that just what you think you saw?
That's just what I think I saw. I'm not positive.
So you're not really positive about the type of gun it was, but it looks silver to you?
Yeah, like the barrel of it looked silver. But then, I don't know how much I was really seeing because I'm fearing for my life because I had my car on and I'm thinking this guy's going to shoot everybody out here. And so I am crouched down as far as I can get and just kind of peeking to see, like, when is this going to be safe that I can leave or get out of the car or what? And I stayed in the car for a long time. So, yeah.
What did you do after everybody starts trying to do the resuscitation on these people?
Well, the first thing that was very reassuring is very quickly I heard the sirens, the police sirens coming. So I'm like, okay, we're going to be okay here. And I was kind of just watching and I saw some people doing CPR on one of the bodies that was lying there. And,
Not the woman and not the child.
no. And I just stayed there because I was too afraid to get out of my car.
Sure.
And plus my mom was crying, going,
She was on the phone with you?
mm-hmm. Like,
And
begging me not to.
You were kind of telling her what was going on.
You
You didn't recognize anybody? You didn't know any of these people from anywhere?
mm-mm.
Never seen them before?
No, but the gentleman that we drove over with, he was kind of running and he ran across the street and asked people to come help or try to get help. And I think somebody had already called the police, but then he did come and knock on my window and he said, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Yeah." And so, but otherwise I didn't know anybody.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay.
It sounds like you're getting close to a lead on him, or do you?
We're working on stuff. Somebody gave us a license number of the vehicle,
Oh.
so we got some ideas, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Can you sit tight for just a second? Let me
Sure.
go make sure, I know if I don't want to ask you additional questions, and then we'll get you.
Okay.
I'm going to like to touch base with one of our victim services people.
Okay.
They talk to people who have been through traumatic things and maybe give you some information on counseling, therapy, that type of thing you might need down the road, and whatever you feel like you might need. Like I say, your vehicle's probably been, because you got your purse.
I do. Yeah.
Is the car locked up?
I hope so. I think I locked it.
Okay, we'll lock it up. If the scene clears before tonight, we'll get a hold of you.
Okay.
Get out and get it. I'm assuming it's going to be really late before you get your car.
Okay. I've been talking to my husband. And
So he can come and pick you up?
Yeah.
Okay, well, sit tight for just a minute, and I'll be right back in, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna send mine. Whose car is parked up? She's parked up.
She's parked, back to the team.
She's parked there. Oh, these two were parked in front where the shooting happened, so they're not getting out of here. So they're gonna have to.
Well, we need somebody to give her a ride.
Oh, I'm done. I'll figure that out.
Okay, sounds good.
So what little I just thought of something too.
Okay.
What little I saw of the shooter is he was very thin and I want to say blonde hair. And, you know, just like a young kid who hasn't started filling out yet.
And you've been talking about a 15-year-old the whole time, so is that about how much you think he weighed?
Yeah,
Or that's how old he was?
Yeah.
How much do you think he weighed? Maybe.
100 pounds, maybe.
So he wasn't very big.
No, not very big.
How tall do you think he was?
I would want to say 5'6", 5'7", something like that.
Okay, but you're sitting down.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you some photographs.
Okay.
Okay? Before I do that, I want you to go ahead and read this through with me. This is called an admonition form, just kind of explains what we're doing.
Okay.
States in a moment, you will review a group of photographs. This group of photographs may or may not contain a picture of the person who committed the crime now being investigated. The fact that the photos are being shown to you should not cause you to believe or guess that the guilty person has been apprehended. You do not have to identify anyone. It's just as important to free innocent persons from suspicion as it is to identify those who are guilty. Please keep in mind that their hairstyles, beards, and mustaches are easily changed. Also, photographs do not always depict the true complexion of a person. It might be lighter or darker than shown in the photo. You should pay no attention to the markings or numbers that may appear on any of the photographs. Also, pay no attention to whether the photographs are in color, black or white, or any other differences in the type or style of the photograph. You should study only the person shown in each photograph. Please do not talk to anybody, and I guess that's not really applicable here because nobody else is here. When you're completed viewing the photographs, please tell me whether or not you can make an identification. Please do not indicate in any way to any other witnesses that you have or have not made an identification. Okay, does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, right here then, if you go ahead and sign that.
Okay. Shaking a little bit.
That's a little traumatic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and show you this group of photographs.
I'm leaning toward it. Kind of looked like this. He kind of looked like this guy. And he kind of looked like that guy. Don't know too, but
So what I'm gathering from what you're looking at those is you don't know for sure looking at this picture. So that's
no. I mean,
even if the person is depicted here, you wouldn't be able to tell one where they are.
no, I don't think so. I don't think a guy's gonna look.
You want to come with me?
Sure. Okay. Whoa.
Okay, Ashley, so the reason we've got you here, we're just talking to everybody that witnessed this thing, see if they can tell us as much information as possible so we can try and do the best job that we can for everybody involved. So I pretty much just want you to paint an entire picture for me and tell me what you saw from start to finish.
Okay. I was at the front desk where I work. I was there by myself.
What is that?
At Chubb Orthodontics. and I was sitting at the front desk facing the window that faces the parking lot. And I heard screaming, heard the shots, heard screaming, looked out the other window to where 80th is, and saw a person walking from like maybe the bus stop right there, was walking towards our parking lot right there. So I jumped back and looked out the window that is facing the parking lot, and that's when I saw the little boys kind of scrambling around, and then the little boy crouched down and kind of covered over, and I saw the shooter shoot him in the back of the head. Then he aimed his gun at the little boy that was running, and then at that point I ran and hid and called 911.
So, this individual that you saw shooting, can you describe him a little bit to me?
Yeah, he was, I feel like he was maybe 19, 20 years old. He seemed pretty young. He was wearing a maroon shirt and khaki pants, and he had like dirty blonde hair, maybe like, to me it looked like he like shaved it, but it was a little bit grown out kind of. He was white, he was skinny, and that's all I saw of him.
Don't remember shoes or anything like that.
I don't remember the shoes. I know he had a handgun. From my view, it didn't seem very big. But again, he had it behind the kid's head, so I'm not 100% sure. And then I ran upstairs and hid in my doctor's office on the floor.
Did you hear any dialogue exchange for anybody outside? Did you hear them talk?
No, I couldn't hear. I just could hear screaming. And then, yeah, I didn't hear any dialogue. I just heard screaming.
Did you see any cars or anything associated with this?
No, I just saw him kind of come out for me in between some cars a little bit. But there was I didn't see any vehicles running or moving or anything like that, no.
Do you remember anything about the cars that he came from between?
I don't. Because I just was really looking mainly at the kids that were screaming, and as to, the gun, I've never heard a gunshot before, like, other than on the television. So I honestly didn't think it was real at first. I thought, I had no idea what was going on. And then, once I realized why they were screaming and what, that's when he shot him in the back of the head.
So how, you witnessed that one shot being fired. Did you see any other shots fired at any time? I
did not see any other shots. I heard multiple prior, and I heard some after. And I was so freaked out and so worried. Our office was unlocked, and I was there alone, so I was just hoping he was going to run out of bullets, and ran into the office and into the doctor's office and hid.
And so I can better orient myself to your office, what direction do these outward windows face?
They face east. There's only one that faces east. The front door also faces east.
And are there any other businesses next door to yours, or?
Yeah, so the business next door to ours is actually within the same building, and that's Children's Dentistry, and they were open and everything that day. The door between our office and their office inside was already locked because the gal that I work with that left before me locked it, because we normally do it at night when we leave, and she had already locked it for me.
As far as any of these people that you saw outside involved in this incident, do you know any of these people?
I didn't recognize the children I didn't really get a glimpse of the boy's face that was shot. He was downward, so I didn't get a glimpse of his face. And the boy that ran, all I saw was his neon shirt. The boy that was sitting down was in blue. It looked like it was like a royal blue color, it looked like. And the boy that ran was in neon.
How old do you think these boys were?
Oh gosh, maybe 8 and 10, somewhere in there.
And did you see any other older people, like adults, around here?
I didn't see any other adults besides the shooter. That's the only older person I saw. Other than the man that was walking towards the parking lot, that I'm guessing was at the bus stop and heard the gunfire, and he looked like he was walking over there to see what was going on. That was the only other person I saw.
Okay. And that guy that you saw walking up from the bus stop who looked like he was coming to see what was going on, do you remember what he was wearing?
I don't know what he was wearing, but he was very scraggly. He had a scraggly beard and scraggly hair. But I don't know what he was wearing. I don't recall.
As far as the individual that you saw conduct the shooting, if you were to see his face again, do you think you would remember it?
If it was just a headshot, maybe not. But if I saw head to toe, like body structure and such, possibly.
And what particularly stands out about his body structure?
His skinniness, mainly his skinniness. He was very thin and scrawny. And the only other thing I can really picture is the maroon shirt, like that stands out. Sorry, recount correctly. We're talking there's two small kids that you saw. You said 8 and 10. Can you give me just a brief description of both of the kids as far as what they were wearing and things? The boy that was crouched down and who was shot, he looked like the younger one.
Okay.
And he had some type of blue shirt on. I don't know if it was a hoodie or it just looked like blue and maybe had some neon yellow on it. And then the boy that I saw run, I saw less of him, but he was in a bright neon shirt.
Which neon? Like green?
Like a yellowy green. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah.
And where did he run to? Like what direction was he?
I bolted. I didn't see him after that. The office manager at Children's Dentistry next door to our office came into our office and was like, "Are you guys okay? Are you guys okay?" And I didn't want to answer because I didn't recognize the voice yet because I was all the way upstairs. It's a 2-level place. And I was upstairs. She came in down, and so I just kept quiet because I didn't know if this man was maybe with another woman that was coming in also. So I just kept quiet until I recognized her voice. And she told me that then they didn't know where the boy in the neon shirt went. And I believe that that's the boy that came in and yelled to their front desk people, please help me, he's shooting my mom.
And the boy, you said that you didn't come out until you recognized the voice. Whose voice was that you recognized?
That was the office manager next door at the Children's Dentistry office. Her name is Lori.
Lori. Do you know, is Lori here?
Lori's at the police station. No, she didn't see anything, so they only brought myself and Sarah. Sarah, that was sitting with me, works at the Children's Dentistry office.
Okay.
The other office.
And do you know how these people ended up in your parking lot?
I don't know how physically, like if they drove in, I'm assuming they drove in, but they come to find out they had an appointment at Children's Dentistry. They were coming in for the dentist appointment. And I didn't recognize them, and I don't think a lot of the people over there were for certain that that they were his patients, but I'm pretty sure that they were. There's 3 siblings, Sarah's siblings.
Is there anything else that you can think of that maybe they were not asking you that you think would be pertinent for us to know?
His skin, he was obviously white, but I would say it was kind of like an olive white, like wasn't like really white. He had a little bit of just softness, like olive skin, I guess.
Like, would that be like from tanning, or do you think that's just...
No, I think that's like just his
complexion?
complexion, yeah. But again, very, very scrawny. I would say, if I had to guess, he's maybe 5'10", if I had to guess. I mean, it was from a distance, but I would guess about that. He didn't seem, very tall, but he didn't seem extra short or anything.
And in talking about distance, and when you witnessed the shooting, about how far do you think you were from where they were?
Maybe 20 yards, 30 yards.
Are there any surveillance cameras on the outside of your business?
Not that I know of. There might be at Children's Dentistry, but I do not think there's any at our office, no.
And since you said you were the only person still inside of your office at this point, did anybody recently come in or recently leave?
Yeah, so, the coworker that left before I did, she left at 2. I had a patient come in about 2:10, her and her mother. And they came in, the door was open, they came in and came upstairs, and I took care of them, and then they left. They were maybe with me for 6 minutes tops.
Nobody else outside of those people that came recently?
Nope, I was just, I usually leave at 3:30, so I was just, answering phones until it was time to go.
And as far as the individual that was doing the shooting, do you remember if he had, like, any jewelry on or anything that you could see maybe reflecting in the light, a hat, sunglasses?
I don't know. Definitely no hat. Definitely no glasses. And I don't remember any jewelry, no.
And from your view of him, did you see him, like, front on, or was it?
He was a little bit down, like his face was a little bit turned down, but he was definitely facing me, yes. Like, if he looked up, I don't know how clear that window is, but he could have seen me through the window.
And what type of haircut does he have?
It looked like it was maybe shaved, a couple weeks ago and was a little grown out.
Was it 2 different colors in it, or just one color?
Just one. It was dirty blonde.
Dirty blonde.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashley, I'm going to have you hang tight here for me for just a few minutes.
Okay.
I'll get you out of here, okay?
Okay.
We'll have to say real quick, just a few more questions for you.
Okay.
So as far as the young man that you saw crouched on the ground, when you first started witnessing this incident, is that the position they were in, or was there?
I saw some running around prior to that. I don't know if I looked out this window and didn't see the guy with the gun first, and then looked out at the guy that walked in from the bus stop, and then looked back, and he was squatted down. I feel like that was how my view went, but I did see the kids running at first.
So you didn't
Frantically.
run frantically?
Yeah, just not knowing where to go or do. But it was, and then the next I saw was that little boy crouched down.
So you didn't specifically see him go from standing to the crouched position?
No, I did not. No, I don't. No. It was definitely 2 different scenes, I feel like, from what I remember. It's a little blurry.
Completely understand.
But I stood up from where I was sitting, and I think I glanced and just saw the kids running around and tried to get a better idea what was going on, and looked back, and he was squatted down at that point.
And then, gentleman that did the shooting, did you see him running around as well?
No, after he shot the kid, then I saw him turn and lift his gun towards the other brother. And then I obviously realized it was a 911 situation, and so I went and hid to keep myself safe and then called 911.
And from seeing him, holding that gun up and pointing it at someone, could you see any color detail in it? Was it just one color?
The gun, from what I can remember, it was dark. It definitely wasn't like silver or anything. I would say it was dark because I saw it when it was on the head and then lifting it into the air towards the other boy. It was definitely, I don't know if it was two-tone, but to me I would just say black.
I think those are all the questions I have for you for now. I'm going to grab all of your demographic information as well. We're just going to take you back downstairs. I'm going to ask that you hang out with us just a little bit longer just to make sure we've got everything that we need.
Okay.